Hey y'all, it's Mike Kanevsky with ProAct. I wanted to discuss today briefly the safety event and the formatting of the safety event and the intent of creating and then managing through a safety event from the initial event itself and then the process that you as a safety representative want to dictate to your users inside of your organization. So one of the primary objectives we feel here at ProAct in the creation of a safety event is to get as much answered as possible on the front end of the form or the creation of the form without burdening the individual with fields and requirements that may not necessarily be needed depending on the type of event. So step one is to really make sure that we simplify the initial creation of that form and that we are asking only the things that are necessary. Okay, that's step one. Step two is we want a process where a safety representative has an opportunity to be a gatekeeper at the beginning or the front end of the creation of this form. So we can essentially be the traffic controller in disseminating the requirements as we understand them inside of our program. The known issue with these safety event forms or these event forms is that the individual, typically the supervisor who's responsible for filling this out, is not aware of the process and certainly wouldn't know the different forms or the requirements that are going to be needed depending on the type of event. So whether it's property damage or an environmental spill or an actual incident or an injury, we need to be able to somehow, as a safety professional, push that information to that individual after the initial form is created. So step one, they're going to tell you the who, what, when, where, why, and how. And then you as a safety professional are going to say, okay, based on the information that the supervisors provided us, these are the requirements that I need them to then follow. And these requirements may be subforms. These requirements may be witness statements. These requirements may be OSHA recordable metadata that's driving the reporting. So my experience or our experience here at ProAct is that this is really something that we shouldn't burden the employee in knowing on the front end, and then we should be able to ensure that these requirements are being satisfied as we're walking through that process. So we've talked about this before, but just to rehash, we as safety managers or safety representatives have now become a project manager inside of facilitating this safety event. So step three is to make sure that we are managing the remaining activities in order to support what we know is needed to close this item out. And this can go as far as doing the root cause analysis, performing the corrective actions, doing review of the event itself, either with management or a communication to the organization post those investigations or those activities. So we want to make sure that the system that we're using in the event of process that we're establishing inside of our program matches how we think we need to facilitate that overall process and not inundate the manager on or the supervisor on the front end with the assumption that they're going to know everything when an event occurs and know everything that's required in order to support your expectations. So step one, keep it short, keep it simple. Step two, give yourself an opportunity as the safety representative to be the air traffic controller. Make sure that you're assigning tasks and forms and you know how this information is being categorized inside of your database. And then step three is be in a position where you're going to be able to project manage this effort depending on the level of complexity, so you know by the time it's ready to be closed that you've satisfied all of the requirements. Okay, I hope this helps. If you have any questions or you'd like to comment on this, please send them my way. Thanks a lot.